Been a while since I was back here. Still as sick as ever. Fucking Christ. I never get used to the acid smell.
Well, unfortunately, these are irritating to plug up.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Been a while since I was here, Silas.
Well, I do remember you saying that you wanted some more practice with firearms at some point.
True, I do have a Mossberg, and I did show it to you. Figure I would probably do some practice with more, I guess, contemporary arms.
At least things that are similar in nature. This was the closest thing I could find to a
True.
Mossberg. Not quite the same, but the functionality is there.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I'm assuming you already know the general basics of gun safety.
Of course I do.
Thank
Treat
God
every
for that.
weapon as though it's ready to fire at any moment. Don't point the gun at something that you don't want dead, etc.
Actual things.
Natural things, figure out the trigger unless you're ready to fire.
Now, here's one question. Do you wish to start with the shotgun or use something else first?
I guess probably use something else first, get my body used to the recoil, I suppose. So now I'm not accidentally
That's nice.
put on my ass when I fire that thing once.
Let me... That kicks.
There's a pistol here.
I do know the caliber of that is 9mm or something around it, if I remember.
Yes.
And
9mm is a simple cartridge.
still don't know when these popped up.
Wouldn't be surprised if we dropped them off at one point and just forgot. Either that or one of your other potential contacts.
This appears to be this machine, if I'm correct. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I suppose we should get to shooting things.
Yes, there's a range down here properly. No reason to be shooting right next to the lockers.
Well, of course there's a range here. It's mine.
Well, yes. But you get my point, Silas.
I know.
A lot of smoke out of this thing.
I do know that one's very wasteful on general energy, which is exactly why there's so much smoke coming out of it.
Fair enough. There's an easier way up to the lockers room. Kind of.
Well, I do have an SMG here for you.
Sure, we can trade.
At least get used to recoil if something has a stock. Don't
Yes.
Rather than it kicking upwards, it'll more kick into your shoulder.
Alright. The sights on this are kind of pointless.
And that's how you know something's not in my tech. If the sights are shit.
I would set a single fire right now.
You seem to be faring well so far, which is good.
If nothing else, this is relatively low energy and it's single shot.
True. Then again, I do set most of them to single. If only for the sake of accuracy.
And also, not having people waste your ammunition. I know what. I do still remember the last time Azazel came around this range.
You have no idea how much overtime the staff in my company need to work one day.
I apologize on her behalf. Not exactly scaled to my size. Fits much better in your hands. For obvious reasons.
This one might hurt. Just a heads up.
I'll live. It's not going to be like I'm actually getting shot in the shoulder, is it?
Well, I'm sure you will live. After all, if you're around me and you end up suffering a fatal injury, I don't think I could live with myself.
You should nearly bat me in the face with the butt of the damn thing. Actually, it does feel more suited to my hands now. Fits around the fingers surprisingly well. Now then.
It's one of those relatively slimmer grips. They can be basically considered universal.
Universal grip. Fair enough.
At least for people of normal size and smaller. Anything bigger, yeah, that's when it falls apart.
Yes, that's why those, one-size-fits-all type gloves don't exactly, do as advertised. Sooner or later it'll only fit one size, and that being the bigs.
Naturally.
I know I've received word on Jack, by the way. He's recently returned from, a mission, and he's fast asleep. Which, to me, simply means one thing. He's managed to at least get rid of the divinity within him, I suppose.
Thank goodness for that. If only just because going a very long while without sleep is goddamn torment.
Even if he apparently didn't feel any of the effects of sleep deprivation until he finally relinquished the divinity back to whoever he got it from. All I definitely know is that he came home, went to his room without saying a word to any of us, took his eyes out and tossed them aside, and damn near broke the bed when he landed on it. Or his bed, anyway.
I can't say I exactly blame him. Seems that all the tiredness, so to speak, built up, and he didn't feel it until
until he could actually do it again. Oh well. It's nice to at least have him back regularly, if nothing else.
True that. I'll be right behind you in case it kicks too hard.
Well, you're gonna keep a hold of me.
I'll be here to catch you if you fall.
Yeah, I expected the kick. I don't know what the hell I was expecting. Huck. I know I gave a good...
At the very least.
I know I gave a good couple of test shots with the Mossberg, and they certainly didn't kick like this. You were without a stop.
To be fair. Actually. That might explain it.
Set on a high power setting?
This is 8 gauge.
That would do it. That would do it. Mossberg. I bought 12 gauge for the Mossberg.
And due to the strange way of how ammunition works, 8 gauge is generally more powerful for some reason. But we try.
Sheesh.
You know it kicks hard when I feel the recoil on this arm.
Jesus.
And well, you took it very well, actually. I'm actually impressed.
Maybe I was just expecting it, and that's probably what allowed me to, I suppose the term would be to tank it, I suppose? I'm not sure.
Likely.
But according to what I have been reading, I don't have to worry about Armsy dying and being sent to whatever grave gods usually have. I'll just be sent to a regular one, assuming we don't find a way to bring him back, considering the fact that he's made friends with, what, like, at least 3 gods, by my count?
Talk about friends in high places.
Bastard gets around. He'll be absolutely willing to turn away any suited corpo that shows up at our doorstep, but makes friends with literal fucking deities.
It's strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's an image thing. Maybe it's because religion is more highly favored or looked upon more favorably than megacorps.
At least the majority of the time.
I mean, for fuck's sake, even the sandworms that troll the wasteland don't seem to like the megacorps much, given how I keep hearing of another sighting every week of a flying AV almost getting, swatted straight out of the sky by a sandworm jumping like a dolphin. Trying to aim straight at the fucking thing.
Well, all I can really say is their fault for going in an airspace that doesn't belong to them.
Too right on that. Too right. Oh, I'm starting to sound like him.
If anything, it belongs more to the worms and us.
I guess they're more of a natural SAM unit, aren't they?
Would seem it.
I haven't heard word from any of the people he was apparently working with to rescue his friend.
They're probably busy trying to recuperate after everything. That's my best guess.
After an ordeal like that, I can't blame them. I mean, the most I remember hearing from Jack was apparently delving into the dream. If that means the dream of his dead friend, his dead god friend. What the fuck would gods dream about?
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah, we'd waste... No. We're more engineers than philosophers, aren't we?
True that.
Sniper, I see.
And honestly, I don't know what I really am more of. I don't know if I'm more of a soldier, scientist, or mechanic. Or well, I know I'm definitely not one of the standard ones.
You're a lot of columns.
True that.
There's a difference between being a corpo and a corpo part of a megacorp.
True.
After all,
No.
a megacorpo wouldn't be able to love, would he?
No. No, he wouldn't.
And I think it's disingenuous to call myself a corporate in any capacity.
You may work the accounting space a lot of the time in general stuff that most corpos do, but no, I wouldn't consider you a corpo.
That's assuring. Coming from one.
You stick to your own space, which is, well, highly respectable for normal people.
Exactly. For people that live in a wasteland, we're practically royalty.
Yeah, I'm a fan of bad ideas. I think you should shoot the sniper rifle.
Is Jack rubbing off on you?
A little bit. Maybe a little bit of Azazel too.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's bothered you at some point, considering her new status.
Surprisingly, there's only been a singular visit.
Yes. When she turned into a ghost. Frankly, that happening was more terrifying than whatever prank she was plotting on me. Fine.
I'll be behind you to brace you. If you need, I can also hold the end of the rifle.
Can barely reach. Can't see from the scope.
Just pretend it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. This is gonna hurt.
I was holding you, jackass.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just like... Fucking... I really should have seen that coming. Oh, it feels fucking dislocated.
That would be because it almost is.
Fucking hell.
Let me just...
I mean, relocating the shot is going to hurt just as much as dislocating it.
Naturally.
Okay. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, let's not.
This is fucking 50 caliber, isn't it?
Oh, fuck. Jesus, I fucking stepped on my cable.
Whoops.
It is actually what could be considered 30 cal.
What, 30-06?
About.
Or 308?
Around that sort of caliber.
I see.
You know AK rounds? 7.62.
Yes.
A little above that.
And I took a sniper rifle's worth of recoil directly into my shoulder, and it somehow didn't dislocate it. Just almost.
Although if this was 50 cal, it probably would have.
100%. I wouldn't be surprised if it straight up tore my arm off.
I still do not understand why they chose this specific caliber. It is so hard to gauge it with literally anything else.
I wouldn't know.
Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. It's on the floor. That's where I left it.
Fucking hell.
Well,
Well, you are correct on it being a bad idea.
At least I'm willing to fix any problems that causes.
Thankfully, no medical need. Do many people come around here for the melee implements? It did go well.
Surprisingly, no. A lot of these are usually either experimental or from a third party, and some have a habit of exploding.
I was going to say, these don't look like plasma. Hard light?
Similar to it. It is constructed via plasma, although it does form into the hard light type substance.
A two-world situation.
The main issue with these most of the time is figuring out how to A, make it work properly. We're getting there. And B, make them durable and capable of slashing things, because surprisingly, hard light is capable of denting if it's not made correctly.
Oh, I see. Hard light shell, plasma interior. And then also a large hammer. I'm not even going to attempt to lift this.
This is just made out of various materials: steel, tungsten, a little bit of titanium, and hilt. I forget what this even does. I'm not willing to find out.
My only assumption is just from the prongs there, it's either a tenderizer type of hammer, or it's something that causes either something to shoot out or explode from it.
If I were to hazard a guess, it might cause a plasma-based explosion upon contact.
I see. Rocket launchers. I don't remember when you got this in. Because it certainly wasn't here the last time I visited.
These I've had stashed away for a good while.
I imagine this would look silly in my hands.
Naturally. And
if I could hold it.
If corpos get even a whiff of where a rocket launcher or explosive weapon is, they're going to go straight to it. Which is why I kept these hidden.
Fair enough. Shit.
Don't know if I'll ever find a use for them. But they are a nice collector's item at the very least.
That would be a strain on my shoulders, even if I were to try and, pose for you to take a picture with me. Of me using it.
As entertaining as that is, your shoulder's already been through enough strain as it is.
You still feel sore.
Although, the grenade launcher is a little more workable with you.
I see.
And fairly recoilless as well. It's a little big, so...
It's lighter than expected.
Now a reminder to aim upwards.
Yes. Keeping it up here is more strenuous than you'd think.
Yeah, this thing has a really long cooldown, I don't know why.
Wouldn't be surprised if the other chambers are just for generating a new round. Nice.
I believe I remember getting this from a relatively recent startup military corp at some point. No idea what they're doing now, but I assume they're likely still creating weaponry of some kind.
I see.
And I don't need to worry too much about hiding this one. After all, this is being mass-produced currently.
Yes. Rocket launchers more coveted than grenades, I see.
And that's new from the shop.
Ooh. And what's this? Oh.
A generally experimental weapon, trying to test how using certain energy sources, trying to figure out what energy sources can produce practically infinite ammo, so long as you don't overheat. And surprisingly, works pretty well. It's good on the overheat.
Fair enough. I imagine you wouldn't want me to test the experimental weaponry.
Well, this, I actually wanted you around to see if it works.
It definitely looks lighter than the rocket launcher. Maybe I could actually be able to hold it.
Well, if you do wish to be the first want to fire it, be my guest.
Shall we head down then?
Very much so.
This area of the desert always feels nice and cool. Probably just due to the amount of shade available.
That's one reason why I decided to set up the range here. There's plenty of debris to cover everything.
Alright. Okay, still heavy, as expected, but...
Lighter than the rocket launcher.
At the very least.
It doesn't have... Likely due to the fact that it doesn't have munitions in it constantly.
True. That will look alright.
You look fantastic.
Thank you. Alright.
Now, I was warned that whatever this produces can have some strange side effects, so do be careful not to point it in any unfavorable direction.
Fair enough. Alright. So is it a press and hold the trigger situation, or?
I believe, yes, it was. I remember checking the notes.
Okay. Let's try it then. Jesus.
I have no idea what the lads in R&D are cooking up with this, but I'm liking it.
It was a very heavy buzz I felt on my shoulder.
That would likely be due to the generator inside of this.
Yes. Good thing it's definitely well suited for your size. Karen's oval. Very interesting indeed.
I am seeing problems with the actual barrel area.
And the fact that it's likely superheating in there, though.
Yeah, those are... That's Burnt's critical components. Well, at the very least, this has been insightful as to what needs fixing on us.
Very interesting, though.
Consider it again.
Yes.
And all I remember the pitch being was "Big good fuck off laser," word for word. That's it. That's all I remember the pitch being.
At least they're to the point. I think that's about everything you presumably wish to show me. This has been nice.
For the most part. Yeah, it has been.
Yeah. I didn't come out of this with lasting medical injuries, so for handling firearms, that's probably a bit of an accomplishment.
I honestly thought that, well, the sniper would be the end of your shoulder, but not quite.
Barely held on.
I'm glad you did.
Thankfully. I should probably head home. I do need to check on Jack. Make sure he's sleeping alright. Not sure how long he'll be out. Mind? He's catching up on... what? At least 2 weeks worth? Oh. Huh. Oh, that's the message I sent you. Did you ever get on that, actually?
I believe I did.
It's hard to keep track. A lot of times. I'm the accountant, but that doesn't mean I manage the storeroom as well. You know, that kind of thing.
Well, if you see a big crate with my company logo, I assume it's the metal.
Fair enough. That'll be useful for fulfilling orders and continuing to get a steady inflow of goods and/or credits. Ultimately depends on who places the order, really.
There should be plenty of, copper plating and also titanium and some solid steel for whatever you may need.
Thank you very much.
And you're always welcome.
Odds are good, I wouldn't be surprised if by the time I get home he's already awake.
Well, if we consider the fact that he's missed out on, 2 weeks worth of sleep, right?
I don't actually recall. Might be even 3. Near fatal amounts
of sleep.
Near fatal amount of sleep deprivation.
We take that into account.
Silas? You even hear the flux. Fuck. Must have ripped him back home. Oh well. Suppose there's no reason I couldn't test a few extra weapons. I see. Oh, big fucking... I have to pull it with both triggers. Pretty sure the hammer on this is just for show. Doesn't look like it would even hit anything aside from the rear side. Yeah. That's like... Oh, there you are. Yeah, I did see the flux take a hold of you.
Okay, I hope you realize I fucking hate the flux shit. I'd rather just go back to the point we were at and just continue as if it didn't happen.
It's the easiest way to hand wave the factor of people fucking freezing and vanishing.
I don't fucking like it. It's not normal for me. Therefore I hate it.
Fair enough, fine.
Get the shit out of here.
Alright, back in.
Just cut the video, it's fine. What were we talking about?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I was gonna say, Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if Armsy's already awake by the time I do come back, even if he has had near fatal sleep deprivation.
He was awake for near 2-3 weeks, right?
Roughly, yes.
When you take into account...
He was still presumably able to walk for at least a little bit after he gave up divinity.
He will likely be asleep for 2-3 days at the very least. Max maybe is 4 or 5 days as well.
Maybe. I wouldn't know.
I'm only making a rough guesstimate with
Jack's a special case.
No. I'm only making this kind of estimate because I had a similar experience not being able to sleep for a good while.
I can imagine.
Mainly when all of this was first put on me.
I see. Well, what's the right thought? Jack is a special case. I mean, when he came back from rescuing his, I guess now blood brother, we thought he was about to collapse and die on our fucking couch. Considering he looked like he almost had his head split in half. And he bounces back within 48 hours. Back to normal, right as rain, as he say. So I wouldn't be surprised if he may already be awake or will wake up tomorrow. Probably realizing, oh shit, I'm late for work at Zephyra.
We'll just have to wait and see. That's always the annoying thing with shite like this.
If he doesn't, then me or Azazel have an excuse to head to Zephyra in his stead.
True that.
Although, well, okay, I know she did persuade Jack to at least take her to the Atlantis Club up in the Palace District. I'm sure she'll be fine if she were actually to head to Waterfront. I wouldn't know, although she'll have to introduce herself to everybody there.
Likely.
You likely don't have interest in heading to Zephyra, do you?
Not particularly. Although it might be a nice getaway from the wasteland for a short while.
Perhaps. If not tomorrow, then another day.
You know, speaking of getaways, actually. There's one place I remember coming across, and I'd like to take you there at some point.
I should consider it.
After all, we don't exactly see too much plant life out here, aside from...
No. Beyond the bizarrities. To be fair, it's probably just because sandworms and trawlers end up shifting the ground around so much, plant life doesn't really have a chance.
Likely so.
Whether via spores or seeds on the wind.
Well, the place I want to take you to see has actually very nice plant life. Actual regular trees, too.
Instead of hollow trees. I know Waterfront has. I know it does actually have Plant Life, but it is funny seeing Hollow Tree right next to it. Tell you what. It's a date.
A date.
Or it'll be a date anyway.
If it's with you, it'll always be worthwhile.
You flatter me. Fair enough.
Well, I think it's at least safe to say that this is going places. In some capacity.
True, it is weird to know that my business partner is the most stable relationship I've ever been.
To be fair, we do have quite a bit in common.
And I know Azazel might be too busy being basically, in her words, a fake GF online to probably worry about being an actual GF.
And usually in games that really should have shut down several years ago.
Several years ago, several centuries.
Especially over one of them.
I frankly don't understand it. Did you hear that they actually put Metaman into Fortnite? Fucking nonsense to me.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
I swear, one of these days I'm going to see an email from that company. One of these days. I swear it.
Either for your likeness or for your weaponry.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's both.
You do have a distinct look to you. After all, it drew in me and the rest of my siblings.
True that.
Alright. Well, I should at least check on Jack, if nothing else.
Yeah, alright.
In that case, see you later, sweetie.
I can already tell I'm never going to regret this.
With Jack or Azazel, you probably would have.
Likely.
Hope you don't start getting jealous if I end up being forced to spend more time with accounts than you. Hopefully I'll wake up soon. Or at least we'll get something to work with. Hopefully.